Hello, my name is Melissa Daniels and I have strabismus. Strabismus is when your eyes are not pointing in the same direction. There's a lot of different names for this. Exotropia is when one of the eyes is pointing out. And esotropia is when one of the eyes is pointing in. We've got hyper or hypo is when the eyes are going up and down. There's a lot of different ways that this can affect you as a person, but I will promise you that it's going to affect your binocular vision and your ability for your eyes to work together. Now, many of you have been here for a long time, and a vast majority are in vision therapy working on improving their strabismus and getting their eyes to work together, which is so fun. And I wanted to share some ideas for some exercises for people who have exotropia. Now, of course, I don't ever want people to do this without direction from their optometrist, but I do think it's fun because strabismus, adults with strabismus it's kind of a difficult group for vision therapy. And so when I find something that really is working, I love to share it. And then you go share that with your doctor and say, hey, can we try something like this? And they will know better whether it could be a good fit for you. So I still like to share ideas though. So don't go take this and try to do your own vision therapy. It's just not going to be as effective. Okay. Disclaimer over. Now, do go over to learn.strabismussolutions.com. Check out my different resources. You can schedule a call with me. You can take the free quiz. You can find a vision therapy office, or you can join our strabismus community, which is well underway now, and we are having a lot of fun. So be sure to check all of that out. Okay, on to exercises. So when I was at the COVD convention a few months ago, I learned some new concepts about working with people with strabismus. And I did talk about this in that video. I talked about, some things that I learned about people with exotropia versus esotropia. And I wanted to give some examples of how somebody might do an exercise or what exercises would look like based on those recommendations, just because I think having some examples can be really helpful. So for exotropia, one of the big takeaways that I learned there is that people with exotropia, or an eye that goes out, generally are really good at being really peripheral, or they can be really central and get their eyes working centrally, right? But doing both at the same time is a huge challenge and just throws them off. And this is especially for people maybe with like an intermittent exotropia, not necessarily someone who like how I was, where I was born with esotropia and had all the surgeries and my eye ended up out. That's a little bit different. This is more going to be especially effective. It can work with anyone, but it's especially effective for those people who have exotropia and they can bring their eyes in, but it's like a back and forth intermittent type situation. So I'm going to show you two different ideas. My brain has been working on this constantly since then, thinking like, how do you do that? How do you actually follow the advice that you do something really central and peripheral at the same time? And so my brain's been working on it. And here are some ideas that I came up with. So the first one, you're going to want to put on your glasses. Now, some of you are not going to be able to see anything that is floating and no depth. That is because your brain does not know how to use your eyes together. And likely you have not done vision therapy yet. And so don't get discouraged. When I first tried these exercises, I saw absolutely nothing. It took me months of work in vision therapy to get to the point where I could see this. So I'm not doing this as a thing to discourage you. You can still see what happens, but just know that if you haven't done any vision therapy, you're probably not going to be able to see any depth. And if you're on your phone, probably nothing. This is something that's you want to like full size on a computer or on a TV screen. So put on your glasses. Let's just do blue over the right eye. Okay, so with the red and blue glasses on, your right eye can see the blue circle, your left eye can see the red circle, and since they are separated, your brain thinks it's only one circle and combines them into one, and it should look like it's floating behind the screen. Now, again, you might not be able to see this. It's okay. Turn off this video. This video isn't for you, and that's okay. Not all of my videos are going to be for every person. They're not meant to be. It would be impossible. We're all too different. So turn it off. It's fine. Okay, if you're in vision therapy and you're like, yes, I'm on it, I can kind of see some float, tap your screen. You might want to use a larger screen. So For exotropia, our goal isn't just to have, we've got this stereo image. If you make it really big, it can be really peripheral, and that can be great. And if you have esotropia, this is probably where you would stay, trying to just get some float, get things to get your eyes to work. Maybe even like adding something to make it blurry would be great for esotropia. We don't want to do any details, but for exotropia, we've got to link that central vision with the peripheral vision. So one idea I had would be to add some extra peripheral stimulation. So white and black are those opposite colors, and it's just like your brain can't not see that. And so having that on the edge, it just kind of is going to expand even more, especially if you're thinking of this like on a large TV screen, right? Or on the wall, something like you've got something that's like dividing your awareness and you're seeing that peripheral. So good. Okay. So then that's kind of taking care of the peripheral. We've got like some extra peripheral stimulation. We've got the central tranaglyph target that's going to be stereo. It's not central, but it's in the center right now, but it's going to be seen kind of peripherally. We're working on that peripheral stereo with that big target. And then we add a central something. So an example would be, and I thought of a lot of different things. You could put like a spot the differences activity where you're like, okay, what are the two differences between these two pictures? Or a maze that you're doing with your eyeballs. On this one, I thought, okay, find all the dots that are yellow. And my eyes are moving from dot to dot, trying to find all the yellow dots and count them up. While doing that, now if you have exotropia, you'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And you just turn off all the peripheral and you ignore all of that and go straight to that central task. The idea is, can you go from dot to dot while keeping the depth, seeing that that ring is floating behind? Can you see that float while you're putting your attention on these central details? Okay. Same thing like if you're doing a maze, and another like really boring, but you just put a letter chart, a series of letters. You could even like have this ring on the TV and then put a letter chart in the middle of it, or whatever. In vision therapy, I could see them doing this like with the VTS4 program, and they've got like a 3D ring, and then they're putting something. I think in the program you can actually just put like a letter chart in the middle. So you're reading A, B, D, C, A, C, D, B, right? Going around, maybe reading the letters on diagonals, and you're reading all those letters, but can you, while you're reading those letters, still hold the depth of that circle peripherally? Okay, so that's what we're talking about, where we're getting the peripheral stimulated and the central at the same time. Your central vision is having to make those letters clear and read them, and you're maintaining that peripheral stereo at the same time. Another idea would be to make the target in the middle also stereo, but smaller. So it's more central. So these are letters, and if you you could say, okay, which letters are the closest? Okay, it's B, then A, then C, and then D. Or you could A, B, C, D. You could look at those different letters, all while still seeing the space between you and that ring, seeing that it's floating behind the screen. Does this make sense? So we're doing a central task and a peripheral task at the same time. All the while, we've got these white stripes that are just forcing us to open peripheral. If you're doing this on a computer screen, then it's like, okay, well, what can you add like around the computer, right? All these different things. Okay, so that is kind of linking in stereo, right? We're having a peripheral stereo, even some central stereo. You can also do this without any stereo at all, just trying to get your central and peripheral systems to integrate. So a really easy one is to just have a letter chart, and then around it you could put like post-it notes or dots, and as you read the letters on the chart, you are touching peripherally all these post-it notes around the edge, but centrally you are keeping your eyes aligned and you're doing peripheral at the same time, right? So we're getting peripheral and central systems to work together. You could have an animal chart, and each of the animals is a different color, and then you've got different colors around the edge, and it's okay, if it's a blue whale, then you have to touch a blue post-it. And if it's a pink pig, you got to find pink. And so you're, saying pink pig while you touch pink, and blue whale touching the blue, green frog, whew, just hit my water bottle, right? And so we're doing this peripherally. Ironically, I didn't see my water peripherally while I'm talking about peripheral. I could use this exercise. Okay, so the idea is we're getting peripheral and central vision working together, integrating together. I do have a lot of this kind of stuff in my Mastering Peripheral course. Definitely check that out. You can know that some of them aren't going to have the central target because for some people, especially those with esotropia, having that central is not good because you don't want to start there. And so you could add a central target to any of the exercises that I already have in that course. But again, this is one, I hate making videos like this and I love it because I know they can be so impactful for people who are going through vision therapy and just hitting a plateau and they need something to help them get to the next level. I want to give ideas and help reignite that excitement. But I also don't want to give a bunch of exercises to people who are trying to do it on their own and then they mess things up and they give themselves double vision forever. So I'll just reiterate one more time. Do-it-yourself vision therapy is not the answer. I can help you find an office. Go to strabismussolutions.com/findvt, enter your information. I will send you options. Do it that way. But if you're in vision therapy, how can you integrate your peripheral vision and your central vision together even more effectively than you are already doing? I promise this is going to be the key to your success. So good luck. Let me know how you've done these types of exercises in vision therapy below, and we'll see you in the next video.